Look at modern humans. We are the only species on planet Earth that goes on diets. The only species that suffers from obesity, eating disorders, and literally kills itself with food. No wild wolf, eagle, or chimpanzee counts calories. They are always in perfect shape. So why did our system crash? Why is it so physically hard for you to turn down a sweet donut or a greasy burger, even when you know it's bad for you? The answer lies in a terrifying secret hidden in our past. To understand why we eat the way we do today, we have to go back 3 million years, to an era before we had fire, to an era when we were not the kings of nature. We were nobodies. Our ancestors found one dirty, non-obvious biological hack that allowed them to win the evolutionary arms race against giant predators. And today, this exact same hack is slowly destroying us. First, let's look at the losers. Before humans became predators, they were hostages to their own food. Imagine that your only food consists of tough leaves, roots, and wild sour fruits. Just to avoid starving to death, you have to eat dozens of pounds of this mass, but raw fiber gives up almost no energy. That's why large primates like gorillas spend up to 6 hours every single day chewing their food. Their life is an endless, exhausting assembly line of chewing. Evolution turned their faces into powerful presses, with giant jaws and thick skull bones to anchor massive muscles. But it's a trap. If you chew for 6 hours a day, and then spend just as much time digesting that heavy mass, you simply have no time left to get smarter. All your body's energy goes into running your intestines and your jaws. Early hominids were locked in this biological prison. To break out, they needed high-octane fuel. We needed dense energy. But how do you get meat when you have no fangs, no claws, no spears, and no fire? The truth that beautiful nature documentaries don't like to show is this: we were not great hunters. The first representatives of our genus were the outcasts of the savanna. We were scavengers. We waited for the lions to make a kill and eat the best meat. We waited for the hyenas to gnaw on the bones. And only when there was no one left around the carcass did we step out of the shadows. But we had something our competitors didn't. We came up with the first non-obvious strategy in history. Humans smashed bones. Hidden inside was something no other predator could reach: bone marrow and the brains from the skull. This was pure, 100% sterile fat. An absolute energy bomb in the starving savanna. Our ancestors became the special forces of fat extraction. We greedily sucked out every drop of these precious, dense calories. We couldn't cook our food over a fire, so we sought out the most concentrated raw food possible. And this thirst for fat triggered a chain reaction that altered our bodies forever. In biology, nothing is free. The brain and the gut are the two most ravenous organs in the body. They consume a massive amount of energy. You cannot have both a long intestine to digest grass and a large brain to create tools. You have to choose. As soon as our ancestors switched to a diet of raw fat, bone marrow, and leftover meat, food that digests quickly and easily, that giant intestine was no longer necessary. It began to shrink, and the newly freed energy flooded upward into the skull. Our brain began to grow at a terrifying speed. We traded the size of our stomachs for intelligence. It was then, armed with this new, powerful brain, that we were able to conceive our greatest invention. We captured fire. Fire became our external stomach. It softened food before it even entered our mouths. It liberated our jaws, shrank our faces, and gave us the ability to speak. Fire made us human. But the programming embedded in us during those dark times when we smashed bones with rocks never disappeared. 3 million years of evolution screamed the exact same rule into our brains. If you find fat or sugar, eat. Eat as much as you can, store it up, because tomorrow there might be no food at all. For ancient humans, a chunk of pure fat was a ticket to life. But evolution is incredibly slow. Our bodies don't know that we've invented food delivery, refrigerators, and 24/7 supermarkets. Our biology still thinks we're wandering through a starving savanna. When you grab a bag of chips or a sweet dessert, it's not you having weak willpower. It's your ancient inner scavenger-gatherer who just found bone marrow screaming at you.
Eat or we will die.
The fast food industry hacked this ancient code. They sell us hyper-concentrated calories that our biology is utterly powerless against. So what is the moral of this story? For a long time, our diet controlled us. It dictated the size of our jaws, the length of our intestines, and the volume of our brains. The secret of our ancestors, who won the evolutionary race against apex predators, wasn't raw strength. It was adaptation. They found a new way to harvest energy to grow the most complex tool in the universe, the human mind. Today, that mind is our only salvation. It's foolish to blame yourself for loving delicious, unhealthy food. It's hardwired into your DNA. But now you know how the mechanism works. You know that this primal hunger is just an illusion, a ghost from the past. The true evolution of modern humans no longer happens in the body, it happens in the mind. We are no longer fighting saber-toothed tigers or competing with hyenas for leftover meat. Today, our greatest battle is the battle against our own instincts. And the winner will be the one who uses their brain not to find easy calories, but to know exactly when to say no to them.